Kris Kristofferson, an iconic country music star and beloved actor, passed away at the age of 88. His career spanned decades, but beyond the music, the movies, and the accolades, Kristofferson was silently fighting a battle that would steal almost a decade of his life. And the real tragedy? It all came down to a simple, devastating misdiagnosis. So how did a medical mistake impact this legend's health, and how did he fight back to reclaim his life? To understand what went wrong, we need to go back to 2013 when Kristofferson first opened up about his struggles with memory loss. In an interview, he confessed, "I wish my memory weren't so bad. A couple of years ago, my memory just started going." At the time, the cause seemed obvious. He played rugby at Oxford University and participated in boxing, not to mention his time in the army. The physical toll of these activities seemed like a likely explanation for his cognitive decline. But what if it wasn't that simple? This is where things take a dark turn. For nearly a decade, Kristofferson and his family believed he had Alzheimer's disease. His forgetfulness, his confusion, it all seemed to fit. Alzheimer's, they thought, was the culprit slowly stripping away his memory. But while his family adjusted to the grim reality of the diagnosis, there was something lurking beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. In a cruel twist of fate, it wasn't Alzheimer's. It wasn't the concussions from football or boxing. It wasn't years of hard living. It was something else altogether. Almost 10 years into this fight, a doctor decided to dig a little deeper. Testing for a different cause, the results came back with something no one expected: Lyme disease. A tick bite from years earlier during the filming of the movie Disappearances had set off a slow, progressive assault on Kristofferson's memory. For years, Kristofferson had been fighting the wrong battle. Imagine living with the belief that your mind is deteriorating, that you're slipping into an irreversible disease like Alzheimer's, only to find out it was Lyme disease, a condition that can often be managed with proper treatment. For Kristofferson, this revelation was life-changing. Here's where the story takes a more tragic tone. For years, Kristofferson had been prescribed medications, Alzheimer's medications, for a disease he didn't have. And those medications? They weren't doing him any favors, according to his wife, Lisa, who had this to say in an interview. He was taking all these medications for things he didn't have, and they all have side effects. The unnecessary medications compounded his health issues, creating a fog that Kristofferson didn't even need to be in. It wasn't until those drugs were stopped that Kristofferson began to feel like himself again. His friend Chris Gantry described the transformation as like Lazarus coming out of the grave and being born again. He lived with a misdiagnosis for almost 10 years. 10 years that were filled with confusion, unnecessary medications, and lost moments. And yet, through it all, Kris Kristofferson continued to perform, to act, and to inspire. I would like to clarify that his family has not disclosed the cause of death, and the purpose of the video is only to explain his health struggles over the last decade or so. Rest in peace, Kris.